Hey, Coach, welcome. So glad you found us on YouTube. Let me know how I can help. As you can see, I've won lots of championships. I've won my fair share of balls behind. Run one of the best high school programs in the country. Coached a bunch of NBA guys. Let me help you become a better basketball coach. This video is just one small piece. Let me mentor you. Teachhoops.com. Click down below or above. We'll help you do that. It is the one-stop shopping for basketball coaches. But the best part is you get a Yoda, you get a mentor. I will help you. You'll get my personal email address. You will get one-on-one calls, office hours, you name it. We will help you become a better basketball coach. Enjoy. All right. Welcome to Coach Collins's voice in the middle
Much
of
better
basketball
that than it
season.
was, Coach.
Coaching you hoops. Yes, I know. Wasn't it hilarious? So for listeners, I sent Coach a voicemail a week ago. We were gonna do a podcast or two, and it was horrible, wasn't it? It was
It was
horrible.
bad. Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
So on top of coaching and a cold, it was shots. So this is
It's pretty good.
not
Pretty good
too bad.
today. So
Not too bad.
yeah,
It's just
got a
getting
good
over
voice
the
for
cold.
radio today. It's your deep
I always say
what was
it's the
that?
Statler brothers. Like,
The Statler Brothers. Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
But
yeah.
he had
What
that
was that
deep
other
cut.
DJ way back in the 60s?
Oh, Wolf.
One of
Oh,
our
who was it?
listeners will have that right
Yes,
away.
put it in the show notes. But before we get into our podcast, Coach, we got some
Yeah.
sponsors we're excited to talk about, right?
Yeah. Coaches, go check out Game Changer. You can find that at coachingyouthhoops.com / no, I got that wrong, Coach.
You
Let's
did.
scratch that. It's
Scratch that.
gc.com
Um,
/ coaching youth hoops, gc.com / coaching youth hoops. For all of your in-game stats needs, if you're not using it and you're wondering why your team can't figure out why your team is maybe not doing so well, go to gc.com / coaching youth hoops. They will give you some insight, maybe that you are missing things you need to improve on your team. Full stats package. Not only that, you can also have anyone who can't make it to a game watch live. Again, Game Changer, gc.com / coaching youth hoops.
they'll even break down highlight clips and
Yeah,
stuff.
their
I
new
know.
feature is a
I know.
breakdown.
I
Yeah,
know. I love
which is
that.
absolutely amazing.
I love that.
Yeah,
And then
hands
Coaching Youth
off
Hoops
makes it
has
easy.
something, probably one of the questions we get asked the most about, right?
Yeah, exactly. So drills. So we are launching a new drill finder. So we already have the offensive finder, right? We also have the plan builder now. Third tool is we're launching the drill finder. And if you go to coachingyouthhoops.com / drills, again, coachingyouthhoops.com / drills, put in what you're looking for, what your needs are, and then we'll spit back our suggestions, stuff we've used, third-party stuff that we absolutely love. There's a lot of good information. But at the end of the day, what we've done, there's just so much information out there, and we've narrowed it down to stuff we use, stuff we know that works, stuff shared within our community, so you can stop hunting and then experimenting. The experimenting has already been done. We know what works. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com / drills.
Awesome. It's Wolfman Jack.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
He always said that.
I had to look it up. Remember Wolfman Jack? I think he's based in California too, right? I think.
Yeah, I think he was. I think Southern California.
Yeah,
I think you're
Southern
right.
California. All right, sorry for the listeners, but I had to answer the question. All right, so what's our topic today, Coach?
So this came in from one of our community members. It's do I have open practices or closed practices to parents? So do we invite parents into our practices or closed door? Where do we start with this one? So what do you
Uh,
do? I know you probably have an opinion because you're at the high school level, which I
so
don't think you talk.
that's a totally different world. Like
Yeah,
you're not going to go watch your kid practice in college. You're probably not going to go watch your kid practice in high school. So that's different
yeah.
because we're talking youth. at this,
Yeah.
you know, I never had a problem if the parents stayed at the youth level. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
different. It's just, I mean, first of all, they're the ride.
Right.
You know, you got an hour practice and maybe they live 35 minutes away. It's like, we'll just stay here and do some work and go in here, whatever. You can stay and watch. So, um, sometimes I even grabbed them as helpers. So I'm again, if it's a super
Yeah.
competitive and I mean, there's obviously exceptions to this rule, I think, at the youth level. But I mean, a kindergartner's going to expect they're going to stay, or a second grader is going to expect they're going to stay. So, maybe when you're getting to late middle school, they aren't going to want you around. So I think there's that line. Elementary, I would say it's okay. Middle school, I think you got to read your kid, because they part of it is they don't want you to stay.
Right.
um,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
they're in that stage of separation. They're in that stage of, so I think that's the big, and that got, obviously when they get to high school, college, it's like, you're not going to come watch. I
No, I'm not
mean,
gonna go.
you don't
Yeah.
come watch me teach algebra 2. Like, you're just not going to do that. I don't care, but I think the district, I think the district and the admin would care, but
I'm gonna have
um,
problems with that.
yeah. So I think that's the issue. Is like, part of it, you got to think about it as term. I mean, we've both been parents of players. It's like, part of it's,
Yeah.
you're the ride. I wish Uber had been around when my kids were little, because I would have dropped them off and gone and Ubered for an hour and then picked them up. Kind of made a little cash on the side. But anyway, especially on the other
Fascinating.
side.
It's a fascinating concept.
Isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
seriously, because you drop them
oh,
off for an hour
oh.
and a half practice. It takes 30 minutes to get home, 30 minutes to get back. You're better off turning an Uber on and going driving for 30
Yeah.
minutes. There you go.
Yeah, I
There's
guess
your
because you can pick your destinations, right? Because so it could be shorter.
right.
Uh, yeah, interesting. I always enjoyed watching my kids practice, right? Just because it allowed me, I don't know, just to see them perform, right? Uh,
Right.
in a different way. And although I didn't, of course, I kept my mouth quiet, and I was always from a distance. And a lot of times, as you mentioned, it was like it took me longer to get to practice than
Right.
it would, right? So it's like, okay, I'll just stay and watch. Sometimes I would sit in the car, of course, but I think this question came up of, okay, that, having it open and the parents are quiet and they're not saying anything is one thing, but then when you have your child who's making a mistake and they're looking to mom and dad who's sitting over in the stands watching practice, or obviously the parent is vocal during practice, um,
Right.
right? The troubled parents, we'll call them, right? The ones that are judging you from the sidelines based on, because they're the best coach sitting in the stands, right?
They are.
So
They are.
yeah.
So I think this leads into, first of all, our new sponsor. So why don't you talk about them? And I think this is about all the mental part. It's about the
Yeah.
new. I mean, I think it leads into that a little bit, and then we can dive into that aspect of it. But why don't you tell everybody? I'm super excited about this, and excited
Yeah,
to use
we're
it with
yeah,
my
super
team.
excited to, one of the things that, if you listen to our podcast before, we've talked a lot about mental health, and we've partnered with a company called Curve. And if you go to coachingyouthhoops.com/health, they're giving a free assessment to your team. It's mainly for high school, eighth grade and above. That's where you get the most impact, but it's health, it's nutrition. They'll do assessments. They have some AI tools for the physical aspect as well, that you can do. Basically, think about it as a mini combine that will then give you feedback. Where does my team stand? What can I do to give them the little boost that they need, or that, gain an edge? We obviously practice a lot of X's and O's, but when it comes to the body and the health, the physical and mental health, how much time are we putting in? Curve has made that accessible, kind of pro level assessments. They've made it accessible to high school. So go to coachingyouthhoops.com/health to get your free assessment for your team. And they've made it available to the end of the basketball season for whatever your season is for all coaches. So go check it out. coachingyouthhoops.com/health.
Free trial and limited time. So go over and check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think, I mean, again, that's I think part of it is the mental health part. Like, I mean, some kids won't like that. I mean, I think there's that
correct.
fine
Yeah.
balance between, I don't want to call helicopter parent, but you got to
I
kind
think
of
you just got
let
to
it
set some
flap a little
rules,
bit.
right? If you
Yeah.
notice that, I never had a problem with it. I have open
Me either.
practices. Parents can stay. Some parents are traveling a little ways, so they don't want to leave, or I get it. Some literally sit there and watch. And then, as you said, sometimes I'm like, hey, can you jump in? I need an extra body on defense, right? We
Right.
were short that day, right? So it does work out, and I get it. But again, if they're vocal, if I notice anything that the player is looking up to their parents after making a mistake, or if they're telling them to shoot the ball like they do in a game, then I will have a conversation with that parent to say, look, this is practice. It's not going to be perfect. We practice ugly, and it's supposed to look like this. And I'd really
Right. We
appreciate
want
it
them
if
to
you let me.
fail. This is the safe
Yeah,
spot. And if you're doing
that's right.
that, this isn't a safe spot. So I think you're right, coach, about sending clear and precise things. And I never had any
Yeah,
problems, and you never had any problems. So everything I said earlier was about the assumption that people were just going to sit there and watch. Um, but if it turns bad or does something like that, then it's not healthy for the other kids too. Like,
correct. Yeah,
it's not just about the kid and the parent, it's about the other 9, 12 kids, whatever it is. Um, you're not only worried about one, you're worried about them all. So,
yeah,
I think that's a big aspect of it too, personally. But again, I have no problem with someone coming in. And even at the high school level, we have our parent meeting at the beginning of the year, and I invite them all in. Half of them stand in the doorway. They don't really want to come in. The kids won't. What are you doing, mom? Get out of here! Like,
yeah,
so. So
yeah. They
again,
don't.
it's
I mean,
gonna
yeah, yeah. Kids don't want you there at the high school level. It's their time, their space. They
right.
want to have that independence. That's good for their uh,
Their growth
good
as
for
a
their
human.
growth. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All of that. All right. Anything else, Coach?
Again, just to sum this up, I think it depends, right? I think
It
if you're
does.
going to do it, set some boundaries. Let parents know, yes, we have open practices, but here are a few rules you need to abide by. Um, and if you do have troubling parents, you need to have a conversation with, as coach says, it's not just about that one parent to child relationship, it's that one parent to your whole team and how it
Right.
affects the whole team. So
Affects
um,
everybody. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Let's give one more big shout out to Curve.
Yeah, go check out coaches, go check out Curve Health. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/health for that special offer of getting a free assessment for you and your team. Again, gain that edge over the competition this year. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com/health.
All right. Till next week.
Till next week, coach.
Hey, coach, I'm glad you enjoyed that video. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com is one way that I can do that. I have coached at every level, won lots of championships, lots of rings. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach on and off the court. So check out teachhoops.com for that.